Hi, hello everyone. It's Royce here, and I want to thank you all for joining me on my YouTube channel, Royce in the House. This is video number 300, all of which are available at any time for you to watch, spread across multiple playlists. There's something there for everybody, okay? This is the live podcast. I call this my flagship. It's my favorite show, but I have a lot of other shows on different topics. Some of them are very big shows, and I encourage everyone to go to the channel, check them out. If you like what you see, I'm getting really close to my first milestone of 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm 35, 34 short. So hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you'll be notified one time that a new show's coming on. So thank you all so much, and hit that like thumbs up button as well. So tonight we're going to be talking about pre-construction. I've been a contractor for too long. Pre-concert rituals. Even the most seasoned performer is going to get the jitters, get nervous, if not always, at least sometimes leading up to a performance. It doesn't matter if it's a small venue with 60 people, let alone a sold out stadium. And some people have just developed ways of coping with the nervousness before they go on stage. Hey, Jeff Davidson, good to see you, brother. Thank you. And I want to, let's see, 20 tribal visitors. Yeah. First of all, I want to thank my good friend, best YouTube friend, Michael Nolan. He's been a big supporter of my show. I love his show, and I've been watching it way back. Anyway, so Michael's a great supporter. He's in the middle of trying to edit one of his own videos. He'll be popping in and out of the chat. We really appreciate it. And any of you that come from Michael's show, because Michael always gives me a shout out to his people, I want to thank you so very much for being here tonight. Okay. I got Dr. Rick just showed up again. He was here earlier. We chatted a bit. Caitlin Stoddard's here. In the community tab, I have a poll, and I asked you to pick what you think is the craziest, pre-concert ritual. I could only have 5 choices. So I listed the 5 of the ones that I have here that I think are pretty wild. Okay. Hi, Angela. How you doing, girl? Okay. So number 1, the first artist I want to talk about and her pre-show ritual is Pink, the amazing Pink. Pink says to calm herself down before a show. Here's what she does. She drinks a couple of beers. She puts her makeup on, and then she tells her best friend to reach out and squeeze her nipples. Okay. I'm not making this up. This is right out of Pink's mouth, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to tell you all right here and now in the chat. I'm going to go out tomorrow and I'm going to buy the very first Pink album I find, because I'm so impressed with that statement. Okay. And she's on the list that you can vote on. So she just wants to have her nipples squeezed, and that gets rid of all the nervousness. And then she's good. She says, "Then I'm good to go," is the way she put it. The Music Sanctuary. Hey, good seeing you, brother. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so what I want to say next, I want to talk about Keith Richard of the Rolling Stones' Shepherd Pie. Now, the Rolling Stones can make a lot of requests of what they need in their rooms when they get there. I mean, everything from satellite or internet so they can watch cricket games while they're in their room. But the craziest request that ever gets made by the Rolling Stones, and this is made for every single concert, Keith Richards has to have a full shepherd pie, and he eats the entire thing before the show. One time he was awaiting his shepherd pie, and he found out that the hands, that set everything as stage hands, had eaten his shepherd pie. The entire concert got delayed till another shepherd pie could be delivered to Keith Richard and he could eat it. And he insists on there being no broken crust. And I can relate to that. When I eat like a chicken pot pie or a turkey pot pie, the best part of the pie is that crust around the middle, the tin ring, and I like to break that myself. You know what I mean? Okay, so that's Keith Richards and the pot pie. Another one that I found fun was the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters put on Michael Jackson, and they sing and dance to Michael Jackson before they take the stage. I'm not making this up. This is David Grohl speaking. He says, and then we do Jaeger bombs. So they They hit the Jägermeister. They said, if you want to perform like David Lee Roth, you need a minimum of 4 Jaeger bombs that you drink while you're singing and dancing to Michael Jackson. Okay, so that's pretty damn cool, I think. Dr. Rick, that seems so normal for Keith. Let me see if I could get some of the chat going here. I love pulling the chat up. Yeah, that does seem kind of normal for Keith. He's such a character, man. I love that guy. Okay. So that was the Foo Fighters. The Foo Fighters, baby. Next we have Van Halen and the brown M&Ms. Van Halen insists on a bowl of M&Ms and only brown M&Ms before every performance. Okay, and he's been doing this for as long as I can remember. Specifically, they have to be brown. He's acting like it's a test for his crew. If they can handle the M&Ms carefully and not damage them, he knows they can handle the equipment carefully and not damage the equipment. Caitlin's going to love a couple of these that come up. I think Jeff Davis. I think everybody will. Okay, so that's Van Halen, the brown M&Ms. I've actually dealt with that story before when I covered a Van Halen show. Okay, so then I want to cover Paul McCartney. What does Paul McCartney do? He does a face. He steams his face. He eats a sandwich and a margarita. He's known to steam his face 1 hour before showtime. A ritual he learned from Little Richard back when they were playing in Hamburg, Germany. Okay, so that was before anybody knew who they were. They were playing in Hamburg, Germany. Had a residency there, and Little Richard had been playing there too. And he would join them, and he actually helped make the Beatles, to be honest with you. And I did a show on that as well. So anyway, so that's Paul McCartney, Hamburg, Germany, learning from Little Richard. Okay, this is kind of a fun one. You think about Led Zeppelin, you think, I don't know how many people have seen that Motley Crue movie that's on Netflix. I've watched it twice. There's parts in there where Ozzy Osbourne's on tour with him. There's just some hilarious stuff. It's crazy. But when I see that, I think, man, it must be just like that with Led Zeppelin, right? Well, not really. Okay, these are some of the biggest rock stars on the planet. But Robert Plant does have a softer side. He proved this when he when he shared what he does before shows. He proved this. Okay, what he likes to do, he likes to iron clothes. Robert Plant irons clothes before his performance. I thought that was a little off the wall, but I'm going with it. Robert Plant likes to iron clothes. Okay, let's catch up with the chat a little bit. Jeff Davidson, James Watson. Jeff Davidson, okay. Caitlin's daughter rolls her eyes. Well, whenever you and Jeff Davidson are on here together, I think there's a lot of eyes rolling. John Lennon used to puke before concerts, at least during the first few solo concerts. That's not surprising. I've heard of that happening. All kinds of high nerve situations. Hey, look at this. Man of many voices has graced us with his presence. Where you been, man of? Why does that sound familiar for some reason? Pre-show. Michael Nolan, my brother. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes. Music Sanctuary. I think the commentators have been told to keep the Swiftie talk down to a dull roar. Yeah, I think so, Caitlin Stoddard. I don't really have anything on Taylor Swift tonight. I do have some stuff. I saved. Well, I'm not sure if it's the best for last, but it's probably the most entertaining for last. And that was Miley Cyrus, her pre-show ritual. Okay. Elvis had stage fright his whole career. Hey, I can relate. I have a live podcast. I get stage fright. I know that sounds corny, but I do get a little bit. I do. It just I don't know. You get a little nervous leading up to it, you know. And hello, Kate, Angela. Oh man, I missed the FG. Yeah, Caitlin. Okay, I don't hate her. Just get tired of hearing about it. Well, the chat's just I can't even keep up. The music sanctuary. He missed. Caitlin Stoddard cries. I'm sorry, Kate. Things will get better. Music Sanctuary. Caitlin, how was your card auction? Yeah, we haven't heard about that yet, Kate. If anybody, if you guys go to the community tab, you can enter a contest. Which one do you think was kind of the wildest of the pre-show rituals? I have 5 of them listed. That's as many as I can list. Ultimately, I will have the contest right here in the chat. That's the goal. I just ran out of time this week. It's been a crazy week to say the least. In fact, I really ran out of time tonight a little bit. Okay, hopefully it'll be better. Field goal. Oh, man of many. He missed the field goal. Hey, Dave, the pickup artist. How you doing, man? Peace, brother. Peace be to you. Okay, so now this is one, and I know Michael Nolan's going to get a kick out of this next one. We're talking about Alice Cooper. Caitlin, are you listening? Are you listening, Caitlin? Okay, so here's what Alice Cooper likes to do pre-show. He likes to watch old, 70s, 80s kung fu movies. Alice Cooper watches kung fu movies to calm his nerves before a show. Okay. He adopted that habit of watching a particular genre of movies. I used to sit and drink before a show, anxiously walking around to get ready. After I stopped drinking, I needed to kill an hour and a half. So instead, I began watching Chinese kung fu movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I think to me, that's absolutely classic. Alice Cooper watching kung fu movies. I think he'd be watching Boris Karloff movies, but what do I know? Caitlin started. Michael, you Swifty, you. Yeah, that's Michael watching the KC Buffalo game. Oh my God. We should all be watching the KC. No. Don't leave, please. Don't leave. I appreciate you all sacrificing to be here. And you are sacrificing. I really mean that too, because there's plenty to do. There's plenty to do. There's plenty on TV and places to go, people to see, drinks to drink. I mean, I get it. I totally get it. Okay, who just commented on Kung Fu Fighting? Yeah, James Watson. Everybody was Kung Fu fighting. I used to love that song. Michael, you loved it too, didn't you? Okay, game over. Back to the stars. All right. Well, let me skip down a little bit. We don't really have a whole lot of these because you know what? I assume most, if not all, rock stars one time or another have jitters and they have a routine that they do to try to calm themselves down. Sometimes I used to have a drink before I came in here and did this podcast. And I don't even have to face anyone in person. It actually really helps. I mean, you talk about kind of mellowing out and just letting it all hang out, not worrying about it. Okay, immediately knows that the stage requirements are met. Right. Okay. Caitlin. Okay, we're going through the chat here, folks. Catching up on some chatters. Love the chat. Oh, thank God. KC wins. Oh, KC won. Mahomes goes on, does he? Okay, Dave the Pickup Artist. Saw Alice Cooper in 2002 in Florida Theater in Jacksonville. I saw Alice Cooper 2 years ago right here at the Vina Robles Amphitheater. He came back. I didn't get to see him the second show, but ZZ Top is coming to the amphitheater too. And this is like a 15-minute ride from my house here, small venue too. There are no bad seats. You can lay on the lawn above the seating and you have a great seat. I love Alice Cooper. What a fantastic show he puts on. So entertaining. Okay, let's see. Boy, it's so hard to keep up with the chat. See? I'm up there again. Go Ravens. I multitask, Royce. Have you on the computer, sports TV? Oh, you know what? I can't do that doing this. If I was just watching, I could. That's a great idea. I'm glad you could do that. Appreciate that. Coop also throws knives before the show. Oh, I didn't know that. Does he throw any axes? I know they do on the show. all of all of my pre-show habits would have included groupies if I'd been a famous musician. Yeah, well, I can't fault anybody for saying that. Believe me. The Coop throws knives. I like him even better. That's right. Okay. So we got to look at some more of these. Rihanna, what does Rihanna do? Okay. The pop star included an assortment of liquor and junk food on her tour rider, such as one package of Oreos, a box of Golden Graham cereal. She likes to drink Grey Goose vodka. Oh, woman after my own heart. Grey Goose. I love Grey Goose. Grey Goose, and a couple of others, Um, let's see. The other one I really like, well, Grey Goose is great. Uh, Kettle One. Kettle One is a great vodka. Both of those you can sip, you don't need to throw down shots or mix them. You can sip that stuff in between throwing down shots and mixing them. So yeah, Grey Goose, baby. Like it. Okay, so she likes her Grey Goose. She huddles with all of her backup dancers and musicians into a circle. She gets everybody together and they all lock hands in prayer and solidarity. That's Rihanna. Wow, just before showtime. They put their hands in the middle of a circle, raise them to the ceiling as they yell out a rallying cry. We always look forward to the prayer, she says. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that's going to be a little different than Miley Cyrus, okay? I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to be a spoiler, but Miley Cyrus will be. Oh my God! I mean, I think when I'm out tomorrow buying a Pink album, I'll look for a Miley Cyrus. Pro-diabetic alert. Pre-diabetic alert. Pre-diabetic alert. Okay. The Music Sanctuary. I just got the Alice Cooper Welcome to My Nightmares Atlantic 75th. Sounds incredible compared to my OG. Really? Wow. I don't hear that very often. And Friday music pressings. Yeah, I have Welcome to My Nightmare too. And I think it might be an original, but I haven't heard the Atlantic 75th. Wow, that sounds great. Thank you for sharing that. The Eagles used to gather in a circle and sing Seven Bridges Road, I believe, before every show. Well, that's interesting, James. Anybody else have any nostalgia like that? Pre-show stuff that some of the bands and performers do. Let's just throw it out there in the chat. We'll talk about it a little bit. Michael Nolan, ooh, Caitlin, and ouch. Okay, Jeff Davidson. I was watching the game and watching Royce and listening to Kiss, laughing out loud. I'm not even going to ask you which one you'd shut off first. I'm not even going to go there. Okay, Caitlin Stoddard, here it is. Ooh, okay, another one by Caitlin Stoddard. Another great review, no doubt. She does some great reviews. She's really good. Caitlin, you're so talented. Caitlin's Magical Corner, great show. Michael Nolan, The Bottom Line, great show. We've got so many great podcasters on here tonight. Music Sanctuary. And let's see. Yeah, we've got Frank James is here. Hey, Frank, good to see you, buddy. Somehow I missed you. The chat was going by so fast earlier. I wasn't able to keep up. It's hard to keep up when you're trying to talk too. But anyway, okay, so that's what Rihanna likes to do. Okay, what does Led Zeppelin? Of course, they've been the center of many tour shenanigans. Instead of fighting drugs, alcohol, or groupies backstage, like you would on a Motley Crue tour, at least previous ones, frontman Robert Plant prefers to get ready for his performance with a mug of hot tea and freshly pressed shirts and slacks that he ironed himself. I mentioned that earlier. Okay. This ritual helps him get in the mood. Well, that's awesome, man. Hey, Robert knows how to party, baby. Of course, you can tell he's done a lot of partying in his life, like some of us others. So anyway, Paul McCartney steams his face. He puts his face over a steamer, over a bowl of hot water that's steaming. He steams before he goes on. He was also told the best thing to clear your larynx as well. Okay, and he was taught that watching once again Little Richard do it when we were kids in Hamburg. I mentioned that earlier too. He used to do it before he went on. He'd get a kettle full of hot water in the sink and just put a towel over his head and inhale. And so anyway, so that's Paul McCartney inhales steam, clears his larynx, helps him to breathe better. And so that's a great idea. What does John Legend do? I like John Legend. He's a cool guy. Let's see. We've got, he does that before every show, Caitlin says. The Beatles would answer John's questions, "Where are you going, boys?" with a toe to the top of the toppermost Johnny. That's good. I did. Jeff, he must not like Steven Tyler. Okay. He does that to everybody, says Caitlin. Oh, here we go. Now, this is rock and roll. Fleetwood Mac would do cocaine before every show and during the show and after the show. Well, I bet there was a lot of that going on, not just Fleetwood Mac. A lot. That's what I would expect. I've met Little Richard and shook his hand. Well, that's really cool, Jeff. That's totally cool. I wish I would have met Little Richard. What a talent. James, too right about Fleetwood Mac. Yeah. Oh man, yeah, I can totally understand that. Well, here's what John Legend does. John Legend sings for 2 hours straight, 5 days a week. Taking care of his vocals is his priority. And we all know what recently happened to Steven Tyler. He shredded his vocal cords, damaged his larynx. It remains to be seen if he'll ever perform again, because he could really belt them out there. My guess is we'll never hear Steven Tyler perform again after the damage he's done. Okay, so John Legend, he stays away from alcohol and drinks plenty of water. The singer also eats half a rotisserie chicken before every performance. I love that, man. I'm getting hungry just reading what John Legend does. Michael Nolan, but Fleetwood Mac could do it better than the rest, Royce. Well, I don't know. I've seen some videos lately. Of course, that's just Hollywood stuff. But you're probably right. Fleetwood Mac could do it better, so that's important. Yeah. Michael, I agree. Caitlin, actually, Royce, Aerosmith should be up and rolling this summer. Wow. I haven't heard that yet, Caitlin. Thank you. You heard it here on Royce in the House. Aerosmith is coming back this summer, okay? And we all look forward to that. Iconic band, been around for a long time. Bunch of great music out there. We all love Aerosmith. I mean, how can you not love them? So we look forward to that. I never thought anybody could come back from that kind of damage. To where the voice comes from. So we'll see what happens. Actually, Royce, Aerosmith should be up and running this summer. Yeah, okay, I already read that one. All right, so that sounds good, Caitlin. I hope that's the case. Okay, so Coldplay. I'm not a real big band of Coldplay. I do have a couple of their CDs that I got in my. Well, actually, I think there's 5 of them there that I actually got in my 160 CD haul that was given to me by a guy that was renting an apartment where I was rebuilding all the stairs at this big complex for the housing authority. They hired me to rebuild all their stairs and balconies, actually, too. So anyway, we started talking about music one day, and the next thing I knew, he brings out a box with 160 CDs in it. And I would tell you right now that 95% of it was great stuff. Oh man, here we go. Just the facts. Dan, the Dan man is here. Hey, brother. I tell you what, if you feel like just jumping on and having a little fun here, we're just talking about pre-concert rituals that different bands do. I'll go ahead and put a link on in the in just in case. I mean, no pressure. No, where you been? No pressure. I'm just kidding. Yeah, Dan, if you'd like to just pop on and just hang out here, absolutely. Caitlin, you want to hop on? Caitlin, you haven't been on in a while. Get your tail on here, girl. Get your tail on here. Okay, so I'm going to put the link up twice. Come one, come all. It's lonely at the top. Kidding. Lonely at the bottom, I should have said. Anyway, once again, I want to do an impassioned plea for subscribers. I think I have 965. It's been bouncing around 967, 965. I don't even know where it's at the moment. But I'm in the neighborhood of 35 subscribers short to hitting that first important milestone that we all live for doing this. And that's 1,000 subscribers. 1,000, you finally start to get recognized. Your shows get more attention out there, in Cyberland, because you now have 1,000 subscribers. You've been invited to join the YouTube partnership program, and so you get a little more perks. And I'm really looking forward to getting there. And it's been a long haul, and it's all been in fits and starts. I get 4, 5, 6 subscribers. Then the next thing you know, I don't get any for a week, and then I get a few more. Then I don't get any for a week and a half. And it is what it is. I mean, the bottom line is you better be having fun doing this, because it does involve some time, okay? I mean, last week's video, I started that a week early, working on it a week early whenever I had time. So it does take time, and it's just kind of the reward we get hitting these milestones. So if you're not already a subscriber, I've noticed recently that my viewers have gone from 50% subscribers, 50% non-subscribers. And believe me, I welcome you one and all. Please don't stop watching because you don't want to subscribe. But if you do like the show and you're coming back and you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've noticed recently in my analytics that 2/3 of my viewers haven't subscribed. Only 1/3 have subscribed. So it is what it is. And I hear similar things from other people. Michael Nolan said similar things. We just never know. But yeah, so anyway, that's my impassioned plea. I won't bring it up again tonight, I promise. Okay, link to the show if anybody wants to join. Jeff Davidson. Dan the man is here. Dan. Michael, did you see that Dan was here? We haven't seen Dan in a while. Been missing Dan, but Dan's been really busy. He's had a lot of stuff going on. And we appreciate you popping in and saying hi. Yeah, Dan the man. Get on up there, brother. Yeah, that's what I say, Dan. The Music Sanctuary. Bob Seger and Steve Miller were the last concerts I saw. Prior to that, it was the Roger Waters speaking tour. Interesting. The one half music and one half his political views for $350. I'm probably going to pass on that if it comes to a theater near me. But anyway, that's cool. My last concert was Jason Bonham, the Led Zeppelin Experience, and I absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. Once again, Vina Robles, close to home here, same place I saw Alice Cooper a couple of years ago. And okay, so Caitlin, me too, Michael. I've been listening to Aerosmith since I was 6 years old. Well, isn't that the truth, right? I'm here just for a few minutes. Hey, Dan, we appreciate it. It's really good to see you, buddy. We miss you, man. We miss you. And that's the honest to God's truth, man. Caitlin Stoddard, me too, Michael. I've been listening to Aerosmith. Okay, hey, Dusty Spins. What's happening, brother? I'll put my link back up. Dusty Spins, I just noticed that Groovy Lisa's here. And I've got a link up if you guys want to join me. We're talking about pre-concert rituals that that performers do to help with the nervousness of going on stage, sometimes in front of, like, a sold out stadium. You can get that even going before a podcast of people you can't really see. Hey, Groovy Lisa, good to see you. I've got a link up. You guys want to join me? Kate, Groovy Lisa, Dusty Spin, just jump on in here. Got some stories to tell. Tell them. We're wide open, baby. Come join me. Okay. Dusty Spins. Hey, brother. All right. Let me run down through the chat a little more. We got Groovy Lisa. We've got Dusty and Lisa being Michael, welcoming you both. I plan to be back in a few weeks. Hey, Dan, we look forward to that. We really look forward to that. That'd be awesome. Been having fun, but we do miss you, and we'd like to have you back. Hi, Michael. Dusty Spins. Michael Nolan, the bottom line. Setting the world on fire, right, Michael? What, 32,100 plus subscribers? I knew him when? I knew him when he had 600 subscribers, and I think I had 300. Michael puts on an awesome show. You know, he's got such a following, and it just blows up every day. Okay. We want to see the Velvet Jimmy box opening. Yes, Angela, thank you for bringing that up. I want to open the Velvet Jimmy box. You know, it's really kind of a bummer. I want to pull these 8 albums out and show them. You know, some recorded in studios, some of the songs, some were recorded at live venues, but there's 8 albums of so many mixes that you have. I mean, of songs you've heard and songs you haven't heard, but so many mixes of songs you've heard that you've never heard played this way before. Jimmy loved to improvise, you know, and so you get a lot of long extended stuff when he's live in particular. And I'll never forget that he cut his first album, Are You Experienced? And they brought it back to him and said, no one's going to buy an album with songs over 3 minutes long, you know, because Jimmy likes to just get into it, you know. And one of the reasons why I love his music so much. So he went back and cut all those songs, you know, Hey Joe, All Along the Watchtower, you know, cut them all down to 3 minutes like he was told to do. So here, I'll set this up. I'll set this up to remind everybody that baby's getting opened as soon as I hit 1,000 subs, and it could be any time. You know, they come in waves. Yes, Angela, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, Groovy Lisa, how you doing? Okay, we're just having a little fun tonight. We're talking about what I think is a. Let's see, Bob Seger is great when I saw him in his farewell tour. Boy, I'm envious. I love Bob Seger. I've been listening to Bob Seger since late 70s. Yeah, late 70s. So anyway, moving right along here. What does Coldplay like to do to deal with the nervous jitters before a concert? Okay, so Coldplay, they have a quiet moment before they go on stage. They step in front of tens of thousands of adoring fans. But before we play live, we have a little moment where we're just quiet, you know, and we give each one another a supportive hug. So hugs and kumbaya with Coldplay. For me, there are 18 things I have to do before I can go out to perform, says Martin. Most of them are too ridiculous to repeat. Who can't relate to stuff like that, right? Is I have to brush my teeth before I go on stage. Otherwise, I just don't feel smart enough. You know, that's funny. I brush my teeth right before I come on here on a podcast. And even afterward, I don't feel smart enough. Anyway, Caitlin, my last concert was Freaks on Parade. Wasn't that Alice and I'm stumbling here. John Bonham. John Bonham was a great show. I put a little bit of it on live YouTube and stuff like that. I did Whole Lot of Love. They did that as an encore, and I'd already kind of walked up to the top of the stairs, and they did Whole Lot of Love, and I filmed that whole song. But anyway, so yeah, Jason Bonham was a great show. I'd go see him again in a heartbeat. Very, very, very good. Okay. Okay, let's skip to the group rallying cry before Rihanna goes on. Okay, she has a group rallying cry. Well, that should be interesting. So anyway, let me just try to. I'm really trying hard with the chat tonight to get everybody up here. I'd rather pay $175 for Roger Waters and not have to hear. Yes, that's how I feel. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know about the 175 just to listen to him talk, though. So Adam, hey everybody, how you doing, Adam? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for showing up. Hi, Adam. Michael Noland. Adam. Groovy Lisa. Hi, Michael. Yeah. Right on, Dan. We do miss you, and we really do, Dan. I don't know how many times I've said that, and Michael Nolan said it too. Oh my God. Groovy Lisa just finished dinner and she had a pot roast. I love pot roast. Was there like carrots? Was it in a plastic bag with carrots and potatoes and all that great stuff? And oh my God, that's just killer. I've been looking for a pure pork, pulled pork sandwich, and I haven't found one yet. Is your Jimmy box set actually albums or CDs? No, no, no. That's albums, full size albums, 8 of them. They do make that in the CD version, and that's the only way you can still buy it with the velvetized cover. That has the velvet cover, made in 2020, so it's 24 years old, and the shrink wrap's never been taken off. And I've been saving it. When I bought it, I brought it home and I said, I'm going to wait till I reach 1,000 subscribers. We'll have that, some other things that will open. Try to have some surprises. We just have a show, just kind of a celebration show. If you want to bring those little horns you blow on, the little hat, whatever you want to do. But I just want to celebrate, because it is a big thing to hit that. Jimi Hendrix is worth 1,000 subs. Absolutely, man. Jimi Hendrix is worth 10,000 subs. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think I'll live long enough to see that. Okay, love me some Coldplay. Yeah, I was mentioning that I haven't really caught up on my Coldplay yet. I listened to one of my 5 CDs that was given to me. I have 5 Coldplay CDs. Okay, so I'm gonna get into that this week. I own so much. Oh, well, that's cool. That's cool, Lisa. That's encouraging too. Yes, Jimmy is Dan. Coldplay is okay. Angela, Rob Zombie, thank you. That's the concert Caitlin was at. Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. Thank you. My mind goes blank. Filter Coop and yeah. That would be great. That would be great. Dan Goucher. Cool play, man. Okay, Dan. Dimebag and Vinnie Paul would say Van Halen to each other before a show. No kidding. He loved those guys too. I've read, and I think you told me before I ever read it, that Van Halen came to the funeral and put one of his main guitars in the casket with Dimebag Darrell. Maybe you could elaborate on that, Dan. I did understand Zombie at all, but I loved his performance. I didn't understand Zombie at all. I wouldn't be able to understand him either. I thought I had 2 of his CDs, but one was an empty case, came with that 160 haul I was given, but there's only one. And that particular one, I told you, you asked me for it one time because I said I wasn't that impressed with it. And I need to locate that and decide if I want to. I need to listen to it one more time, unprejudiced. And if I'm still not connecting with it, Kate, I'll send it to you. You know I will. I've sent you a few albums in the past. Okay, Dimebag, Vinnie Paul, Van Halen. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, Dimebag, what a fast guitar player. Man, where did my... Okay, well, we're going to have to just start over in here somewhere. Okay. Ministry, Filter Coop, and Rob Zombie. Okay, right on. Caitlin's a huge Alice Cooper fan. Okay, Van Halen to each other. Okay. I didn't understand. Okay, yeah, I've seen these. Let me see. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Dusty Spin's last concert was Depeche Mode for the Memento Mori tour in 2023. That's cool. That must have been a good show. Oh, yes, you told me about that, Dusty. Adam, my last concert was Grand Funk last September. Oh my God, that would have been fun. Was there many of the original members left? That's what I'd like to know. I was a big fan of Grand Funk. Grand Funk, the James Gang. There was so many of those old bands that I don't have. I have one James Gang, but I don't have so many of these old ones that I like so much. Quicksilver, Messenger Service. There's just I saw about a dozen of them at a used record store the other day, and I was really tempted to get one of each because I don't have any of them. And I love all those bands. Grand Funk was amazing. One Coldplay song. Yeah. You got to have 1,000 sub balloons. Let me see what I can find. Maybe I can find a bubble machine. I can do 1,000 bubbles. Do you know how many of us co-hosts have endured that album remained sealed? I know. All of you. People have been trying to talk me into opening that for I don't know how long, man. I hear you, Michael. Gosh, darn it. Royce, I saw Ace Frehley and Alice Cooper together. Together or okay, well, when I saw Alice Cooper 2 years ago, it was Ace Frehley that opened for him. And that was a good show too. I had no complaints from that. He was very entertaining, had a bunch of relatively younger guys with him. And I think that happens a lot. But I enjoyed that. I would see Ace Frehley again. He was a major contributor to Kiss, and I don't have to tell Jeff that. Jeff's a major fan of Kiss, but he was with them when their best stuff was made. And I was reading something about him and Peter Criss today, and there was a picture of them together doing something together. It'd be kind of cool if they kind of put something together now that Kiss is on retirement mode. Kind of fun. Music Sanctuary, good one, Michael. Too funny. One box set that you regret opening? No, I don't have any I regret opening. I was really happy when I opened the White Album box set. Hey, Groovy Lisa.
Hello. I thought I'd come in here and show you some Coldplay.
Okay, cool.
We were talking about it.
Yes, we were talking about it. Okay.
Hey, Royce.
Hey, good to see you, Lisa. Good. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what I'll show you what I got of theirs. So this, I believe, was their last album they came out with. This is Music of the Spheres.
Okay.
Is it upside down? And then I have their very, very first album, Coldplay's Parachute.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Blood Rush to the Head.
Okay.
This is an EP they did called Kaleidoscope. I don't know if they have this still available. And then I have Coldplay's A Head Full of Dreams. This is a really cool thing because you can take out the cover and it has some other pictures.
Oh, I see.
And this one was on recycled vinyl because that's what the groups are doing. But yeah. Thought I'd show something a little different that people will probably never show very
well,
much.
You know what? Yeah, that's totally cool. I have, I think, 5 Coldplay CDs. If I thought I could roll straight back and grab them, I would. I'm probably going to be back there for 10 minutes spinning that carousel around and come back frustrated without them.
I mean, there's still some Coldplay that I don't have. I don't have Viva La Vida. I don't have X and Y. I don't have Ghost Stories.
Okay.
I don't have those.
Okay.
So I'm not complete with my collection. But I started listening to Coldplay in high school. That's when I got into when their first song Yellow came out.
Okay. Yeah, they were popular. They were popular.
It's like about maybe 17 or 18.
Yeah. You, but not me.
No,
me. James Watson asked me if I regretted opening any box sets, and I said no. But I've opened them all. I really enjoyed the White Album, the Beatles White Album box set, which came with the special takes that were done, I think, at George Harrison's little studio.
I don't regret it.
Yeah, and I don't regret anything, but I don't regret not opening this one because I'm looking forward to it being part of hitting my 1,000 subscriber milestone.
I mean, I don't regret opening box sets. I mean, the whole point of buying records is to open them and listen to them, not to keep them on a shelf to collect dust. That's my opinion.
No. I know. I do have one more I haven't opened, and that is Led Zeppelin's the red one, the red box set. Okay.
But then again, I understand why some people keep their stuff sealed.
The Mothership. The mothership. I have not opened the mothership.
Yeah.
I'm still looking for Celebration Day. You have to buy it aftermarket. Everybody's been out forever. I'll buy that as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
And it comes in a box also.
I only have like 2. I have maybe 2 or 3 box sets. I don't have a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not really a box set collector. But they're good to have.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they're good to have. I haven't bought all the real popular ones. I haven't bought all the new Beatles ones that have been out in the last couple of years and stuff.
If you want to be a completist, it's good to have a box set. Like I have one. I'll show you the box set I have. The only one I have.
I'll refer everybody to this.
But that one's a kind of a cool one.
Everybody check out Just the Facts Man, Dan, co-host Dan. And he's got his own show as well, of course. And it's a big one too. But so Eddie Van Halen gave his yellow and black guitar that he used on the Van Halen 2 album to Rita, Dimebag's girlfriend at the time, and for her to place during the funeral, to place in Dimebag's casket. So there was a whole bunch of mutual respect there between Dimebag and Vinny and Eddie Van Halen and his group. They all really respected one another's musicianship. Go ahead. Let's see that Monkeys again.
Yeah. I also have a Tame Impala box set, and then I have a box set from BTS because one of the BTS members did a box set for their album. So I have 3.
Okay.
The Tame Impala box set was kind of expensive. It was 1 album. Oh wait, no, I also have a 21 Pilots box set too. But for 2016 Record Store Day, I believe 2016 it has all their albums.
Oh, look at that! I didn't know they even had that.
Different color records. And here's the back, and it also comes with a bonus album, which is the 50th anniversary.
Wow, I probably hadn't started recollecting. I had a vinyl collection, an old one, with a lot of good stuff, Creedence and different things like that, and Elton John, Creedence, some Led Zeppelin. But I
love Creedence.
I do too. They're one of my absolute number one bands.
I have so many compilations of Creedence in my collection.
I know. I've got the colored 2 album set.
Yeah, I have
Chronicles. It's called Chronicles.
I have the Chronicle. I have the Gold set. I have Cosmos Factory, Bayou Country.
I have all those. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I have Willie and the Poor Boys. Yeah,
Willie and the Poor Boys.
That's a good one.
How about Green River?
I don't think. I think I do have that one because my dad had a copy of that one.
Okay. Yeah.
And it got lost. So I ended up going to Amoeba and I found another copy because his copy had his name on it, and I had the album cover, but not the album.
Okay, that's cool. I really only have one more.
Hey,
one more of these to talk about, a pre-show ritual, and I saved this for last. And it's the last one on the poll that I made. That's under the community tab. Go to the community tab, you can vote on which one you think left you speechless. I would have to say this one left me speechless. And let me just go through this real quick. It's Miley Cyrus. Leave it to Miley to top everyone, right?
Yeah. Miley's crazy.
Those of a sensitive disposition, prepare to have your outrage meter go into the red. Okay. All right. So Miley recently announced that her new pre-show ritual is having her little sister Noah, who's 14 years old, check that her vagina isn't showing before she heads on stage.
Weird.
Because of the way she dresses, of course. Miley has nicknamed her the PUSSY police. That's all we have to say about anything ever again. There's nowhere to go from here for pre-show rituals.
All I know is I got 2 siblings. I got 2 sisters and 2 brothers. And that's a conversation I would not be having with my sister about her
No,
lower
yeah,
area.
your 14-year-old sister.
Well, that must have been an old article because I think Miley's like now 30 or something. Last I checked, but
Yeah.
some of these celebrities also have these weird foods that they need to have on tour with them. The riders get for them, like they need special M&Ms or they need gluten-free food. You've read the
What?
stories.
Yeah. Well, what is it about all of these former Disney, Mouseketeers, like well, Miley Cyrus. I
Yeah,
mean, she was a big Disney star,
yeah, she
and
was.
so was Britney Spears, and
Yep. I hope
Britney
Brittany's.
Spears.
I hope she's
Yeah,
doing good, Brittany.
yeah. You never can be too sure with her. I don't know what
No,
goes on with
because I
her.
saw a video of her holding a knife while she was dancing on Instagram, and I was like, hope she's okay,
Wow.
man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hope she's okay. Well,
Oh, there's
she
a lot.
she finally got control back of her, well,
Yeah, it took her a while.
assets, and we hope I for one hope that she proves that was the right move.
Well, I haven't read the biography, but I heard that her dad was, taking a lot of the money and her sister too. And the thing about it is, I hope Brittany's okay because
Right.
I remember Brittany from when I was in high school when her first album came out,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that
for
was
sure.
and Mickey Mouse Club.
Well, her, Christina Aguilera, Miley Cyrus, they all came from Disney,
Yep,
and they became absolute divas, every single one of them. I mean, they
yep.
actually tried to out nude each other or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, Christina Aguilera had like a brief career, and then I think I kind of haven't really heard from her lately. So yeah, she had a
Yeah,
moment.
well, she was pretty big on that show, The Voice. She was a
Yeah.
co-star for a
I
while.
mean, if you think about the people that came out of the Mickey Mouse Club, you have her, you have Britney Spears,
Christina.
Tristina, Ryan Gosling,
Okay, yeah.
who's an actor, and then you have Justin Timberlake, who just released a new album, and he's
Yeah,
also an
that's right.
NSYNC.
Justin Timberlake. Yeah.
And then his other bandmate who was in NSYNC. So there was like, and there was just a lot of Mickey Mouse Club, but it's safe to say
Yeah.
that probably I want to say Ryan Gosling had the biggest career of all of them because he's in some
Yeah.
pretty blockbuster stuff.
What do you think about James's comment? I tend to agree with it. Christina was the only one of them who could actually sing. It sounds like, to me, Britney's voice always sounded a little processed, like it was needing some help.
Well, I could not agree more with James's comment because Christina Aguilera actually was, I think, the most talented of all of them because her voice, she didn't really have to do the auto tune route. And
Right,
if you
right,
listen to her like 2006 album that she came out with, I think it's called Strip or something. That girl can sing, but
right, right.
I think that Brittany might have sold more than her. Somebody can correct me, but Christina Aguilera definitely, without a doubt, had the better voice. And what really surprised me when it came to Mickey Mouse Club stars is that Ryan Gosling can sing, and he can sing pretty good if you listen to the Barbie soundtrack. But
Okay.
yeah, Christina, 100% a better singer than Britney.
Yeah,
100%.
I felt the same way. I'm not sure where Miley fits in there. I think she's got a decent voice.
Miley's okay.
Yeah.
I did like her rock album that she did. I did kind of thoroughly enjoy the rock album that she had. It I forgot what the name of it is. I'm
Right,
not
right.
up in tune, but they got Miley. You had Selena Gomez. You
I
have
think
a
yeah,
lot of Disney people.
didn't Miley
Demi.
Cyrus's latest album hit #1 on the Billboard?
I liked
I
I
mean,
liked I liked her album. I liked the song Flowers because it's a great anthem that
Flowers.
reminds women.
That's the one I was thinking of.
It's the one that reminds women you can buy yourself flowers, you don't need a guy. It's a
Right.
catchy song.
Right.
It's a
Exactly.
catchy, I mean, a lot of these Disney stars do produce pretty catchy songs. I'll give them that. Whether or
Right.
not I will, remain a listener of them, I don't know. I don't really I'm not like, really big on a lot of them because a lot of them
Well,
don't sing
no,
that great.
I've never bought a Miley Cyrus or Christina Aguilera, and
No.
or
We have Christina Aguilera in my.
Britney Spears,
We have,
but you know
Christina.
where Britney scores is these live
Yeah.
performances she does when she does a residency for months and months and months, and the dancing and the shape she gets herself into. I mean, chiseled abs, and
Yeah.
she's a good dancer, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
And when she does
yeah.
that, she really knocks it dead. I mean, she makes a lot of money. Britney
Yeah.
has 100 million
Whoa.
albums sold. Christina 90,
Yeah.
according to
I
Google.
mean, I got Britney and Christina because at one time my sister was about 10 or 11, and that was what she was into. Like 1990, I think 98 when her album came out, Britney, or 97. My sister was about 10. She was born in 87.
Okay.
So we had those albums in our house, Christina, Britney, because, you know, that's what a 10-year-old listens to. So unfortunately, yes.
No, that's right. I just think the whole thing is funny because that's how her and Christina started.
Yeah.
I mean, this was the music that the mothers were buying for their 10 and 12-year-old daughters. Then the next thing you knew, you know, they were taking all their clothes off and they're being all sexy and stuff. And
I mean,
that's actually when I started to like them a little bit. No,
I think they were trying to break away. I think they were trying to break away from the
They were trying to break away from that clean cut image.
Yeah, because
and Miley Cyrus did the same thing when she made that first tape with her dad that was kind of controversial. Then after that, she really went off the deep end.
Yeah, I mean, because they're trying to break away from the Disney mold because unfortunately, a lot of child actors, some of them don't get a career after, you know.
No, they don't. They did just get stereotyped as a little kid or something.
I mean, if you think about it, some of these artists went on to do better stuff after.
Oh yeah,
like Selena Gomez is an example of someone who went on to do better music after Disney. I mean, she did some really solid songs, and Miley had some solid stuff. Demi Lovato.
Yeah,
I just think that, you know, they're always going to be forever known as Disney people. No matter what.
Well, we can go way back to like the early '60s, wasn't it? Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello.
Yeah, I love me some
played in all the surf movies.
I love me some Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon.
I mean, I used to love going to those shows. You had Dick Dale, King of the Surf Guitar, would always come into the club with his band and play some surf songs, and then you'd see Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon out there surfing. You know,
I mean, she did a lot of movies. She did a lot of movies back then.
Faking surfing.
She did a lot of great movies back in the 60s because
right.
She was in demand, you know, her and Fields did a lot of movies as a young person.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm thinking, you know, they had a lot of actors back then that were in demand that they were trying to sell because they had, you know, all those like teen magazines out there, Tiger Beat, 16.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, a lot of the girls were buying these posters and hanging them on the wall. So the Beatles were very big back then. I think I remember one of my friends who sadly passed away, she said she had Beatles posters on her wall as a 20-something-year-old. Yeah.
All my posters are psychedelic, you know, and I had a black light hanging in my room and they all glowed with the black light.
I was totally different. I admit it, I had a lot of boy bands as a teenager.
Oh, I can imagine.
I had the Bop magazine, the 16 and the Tiger Beat.
Yeah, my mother wouldn't let me put girl bands up or Playboy pictures or anything.
But what's funny is I had all of these like boy bands, and I also was into the Foo Fighters and Third Eye Blind and Alice in Chains.
Oh yeah,
so I was like all over the place.
I got to say hi to my good friend Steve Midthumb dropped in. Good evening, everyone. Steve, thank you, man. Appreciate seeing you, brother. Chat's starting to chat just woke up. People are eating THC cookies with their tea. One pill cookie makes you smaller. One cookie makes you small. And the one that mother gives you just makes you gain a lot of weight.
Yeah, my sister sang that song.
I had a magic mushroom hit with my 2 cookies and a tea also. Oh my God. I remember I took magic mushrooms once. Yeah. My wife and I and some guy that she worked with, he invited us to a Jimi Hendrix impersonator concert.
Ooh.
And this guy it was in Pismo Beach, pretty good sized place, not a huge venue by any means, more like a theater. And this guy was amazing. He was amazing. And we really got messed up. In fact, the guy that took us there got kicked out. I walked up into the lobby and about 4 or 5 people. He was arguing with people that worked there.
Wow.
The next thing I knew, they drug him out and threw him out on the sidewalk.
My dad has told me stories about mushrooms because it was the 60s, and he told me about the mushroom story about having mushrooms while I forgot who he went to see back then, but he's seen a lot of people.
Well, this Jimi Hendrix impersonator was really good. I mean, it was an amazing show. I think his last name was Hansen. Every once in a while, I still read about him.
I've seen some pretty good groups that have impersonated people. Like I've seen Rain, which is a tribute to the Beatles. I've seen a tribute to the Monkees. I think I might have seen a few Beatles tributes, but I don't remember all their names. But Rain was pretty good. The Fab Four. I also saw the Fab Four.
Yeah, I've seen more than one Fab Four show.
I've seen La Pagan.
And it was a good one too. But it's hard for them for anybody to measure up impersonating the Beatles. I've seen a really good Jim Morrison impersonator. The show was called Wild Child years ago, and then I saw Led Zeppelin again.
I saw them.
Did you? What did you think?
I saw them. I saw them for free because our neighborhood used to do free shows. I liked it. Because that's the closest I'll ever come to see Jimmy Page and Robert Plant without them fighting. So I was like, because there's the joke that the last time they performed in concert was when they were in court to sue Spirit for Stairway to Heaven. And
Michael, excuse me, shrooms.
Shrooms.
So Led Zeppelin's coming, I think, next month in San Luis Obispo here.
Cool.
Then there's another all-female Led Zeppelin tribute band, and both of those two, Led Zeppelin and that one too, they both show up every 4 months or so here locally. I haven't seen either one of them yet.
What do you think of the reggae Zeppelin band, the one where the guy's an Elvis impersonator?
No, I have not seen that. I think I would like that.
Dread Zeppelin, I think they're called.
Oh, Dread Zeppelin. I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the lead singer is an Elvis impersonator, and I got into them because of Ron Beaudry. One year he was talking about them, and that's how I got into them.
Hey, we've just been joined by Johnny L.
Hey.
Johnny L. Johnny L wants a link.
Cool.
Johnny L.
I did. I saw you on stream, and I was like, "Oh, you're running this alone. I'll come up and show some Coldplay." Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like my good friend Johnny L was going to be joining us here.
Cool.
Lisa, and Johnny's just a straight up good dude.
I know who Johnny is. He's
so down to earth.
Down to earth people.
Johnny. Que paso?
Hey, good evening.
You're supposed to say nada, amigo.
Yeah, nada.
It's okay. You can have a pass.
By the way, I was reading the chat, and Michael's was mentioning cookies, and I just thought I'd bring my own cookies.
Oh, no kidding.
Probably no THC in those.
No, I think these are normal cookies.
Oh, you didn't just take them out of a foil bag. Damn it.
Yeah, I love me some Oreos.
Yeah.
So how's it going? Both of you, are you okay?
Thank you, Michael. Yeah. Good. Yeah, we're just hanging in there. It's kind of a main part of the show kind of ended early. We were just covering what bands do before they go live. They're pre-concert rituals that to help calm their nerves down and get them settled in and help them to be able to cope with getting out there, because my God, they go out in front of sold out, concerts sometimes, sold out arenas, not just concerts or arenas.
Well,
boy, I don't care how many times you do that. That can be nerve-wracking.
It can be nerve-wracking.
A lot of the artists say that before they go on stage, they still have butterflies.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Look at that famous people. Look at Michael Nolan. I bet you he gets butterflies coming up on I know sometimes.
I
He's
bet he does.
he's
I bet he
popular
does
and
too. I
famous.
think he's
I
popular
mean,
and famous.
all the girls,
That's exactly right.
all the girls want him, including Caitlyn. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
So Johnny L, you had quite a subscriber run earlier today. How did that all go down?
You know, I'm not really competing with anybody, really. It was just on a lark that I would do these tags, and it kind of I kind of got carried away with yesterday. I was Rachel suggested something for him, and I really enjoy her suggestions and her to give me some hints on what to do. And I think I overdone it on the on what do you call them, those shorts that you call them there.
Oh yeah.
I started putting a couple of doo-wop songs on my turntable, and I was getting carried away, and I thought, oh man, because I get into this doo-wop zone, right? And so I ended up putting on one after the other. So it's like I put on like maybe 6 or 7 or whatever right off the bat, and I was mentioning that something that one person was saying that it does something. His bell kept on ringing or something. Or I don't know, some weird thing that happens with YouTube or something. I don't know. So she suggested that I just put a little bit at a time, right? So, which is a good suggestion. I just got carried away, and I thought, because like I said, when I get into the oldies and the doo-wop, I get right into the right. So I one after the other, like Elvis, and then Gary Lewis and the Playboys. I just kept on putting them on there, right? And
great stuff too. Yeah,
I should have like. I was thinking about it later on after I'd done all that, and I thought I should like maybe separate it a little bit, because I really don't have a lot of oldies and doo-wops records, believe it or not. Mine are all on MP3, which was donated to all us DJs on the Doo-Wop Cafe by collectors. So I got like about over 100,000 doo-wop songs and stuff like that on a hard drive, on 2 hard drives.
Yeah.
So I don't really have the vinyl, right?
Let me ask you one quick question. Was this vinyl tag from Rachel? She gave me one a week ago, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm feeling guilty. I might have to do it tomorrow or the next day.
There's so many of them.
But it came from Sam St. John, and it was Americana. Is that the same one she tagged you in?
Yeah, I did the Americana one, and I think when it said Americana. And I was reading, I got some of this information on Wikipedia or whatever, and it said that I think I showed what was it, the Iron Butterfly or something, right?
For Americana, okay. Hey, that works for me. I love Iron Butterfly.
But it said on the Wikipedia that it was like a kind of Americana or something. So I thought, right. So I showed that, but I did show a couple other things. But that kind of stumped me, the Americana one, right?
Yeah.
So, I was thinking that was like country. Isn't Americana like country, bluegrass, or
country, folk? Yeah,
folk, bluegrass.
I mean, there's so many qualify though. I mean, to me, like a Tom Petty, Arlo Guthrie.
Yeah, Arlo Guthrie, Jim Croce.
Jim. Yeah.
I haven't gotten around.
Like the band, I think the band was Americana.
It's a pretty big tent. The band. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many tags. I can't.
Oh yeah,
Bob Dylan. I mean, that's straight up Americana.
Right. I'm kind of get like I did quite a few of them.
I don't know how you could not call Elvis Americana.
Well,
yeah.
And to me also, but to me, also Americana. I showed a couple of albums or records, I think, but to me, Americana meant also the deep South, like Leadbelly and all that. But some were saying, oh no, that's not Americana. Well, to me, that's Americana, the deep South. That's where all the rhythm blues and all that came from.
Right.
So that's how Americana can more can that be? Right?
I have to look up that, because Americana is big. It's a big tag.
It was fun.
Robert Plant does that, kind of.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with Jeff too, Lisa, that Robert Plant does Americana now too. Yeah.
Well, he did that album with Alison Krauss called Raising Sand, which is kind of, I would say, Americana country, and that did win the Grammy the year that it came out. But
no,
some of these tags, I feel like I have to go back to high school. Like because I don't have some of the albums these tags want, and I feel kind of bad.
Now, would Neil Young be American? Because he's Canadian.
I would say
would
so.
He be American?
It's hard. You can throw them. I mean, even Grateful Dead. I mean,
I know it's kind of a wide range.
I don't think it's real narrow. I think it's
wide range of
wide range.
Artists,
yeah,
I mean Neil Young. If we're thinking about modern stuff,
Neil Young,
Montage,
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Young, right?
Yeah. Who else? If we're thinking modern, I would say Ray Montage, Sturgill Simpson, maybe even Sufjan Stevens. Some of his earlier stuff.
I think you can't. Chuck Berry has to fit into that.
Yeah,
too.
Chuck Berry. I mean, or James Brown. James Brown. But you see, they would put James. But the thing is, they wouldn't put. From what I gather, right? They wouldn't really consider James Brown as Americana.
Well, I think so much of the soul music I listened to and loved. For example, the Temptations.
Yeah.
Wilson Pickett.
Right.
Otis Redding. Oh my God.
Otis Redding.
I'm a huge Otis Redding fan. I did a show on Otis Redding. We Dan was with me. And Dan McNew, Dan, Dan, he was here earlier tonight. He's going to be coming back. But anyway, he actually made a video where they showed him pulling the plane out of the water that he died in and stuff like that. It was kind of chilling. He made a lot of money in a very young age. He did really well, and he learned how to sing in church and stuff the way he did. I mean, it was a natural. Don't get me wrong. But he did a lot of singing in church. A lot of the soul singers sang in church.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And gospel. Even Elvis Presley sang a lot of gospel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He did. Yeah.
Aretha Franklin sang gospel, and I mean they sound good doing it too. You don't say, it's gospel and turn it off. You listen to it.
There's a lot. There's a soul tag, I think, too.
Yeah.
You could talk about Otis Redding, Sam Cooke. Aretha Franklin.
Sam Cooke.
You could talk about the Shirelles. If you want to talk about Sly and the Family Stone.
Right.
Curtis Mayfield. There's so much to talk about.
The Supremes, Diana Ross and the Supremes.
I love the
They did a bit of soul, right?
Yeah, I've got 4 or 5 of their. Oh, totally soul. I mean, 4 or 5 of their albums.
I mean, if you want to go as far as the 50s, you can talk about the Coasters, the 16s, the Marcells, the Del Vikings. There's a lot. There's a lot to cover.
The Royal Jesters.
Yeah, the Royal Jesters. The Temptations.
The Quintones. There's
Marvin Gaye. I mean,
Marvin Gaye. And then
you start grabbing the Isley Brothers, Ike and Tina Turner.
The Righteous Brothers were soul.
Yeah. Well,
I would say that their music is kind of soul. The Four Tops.
It's almost like all early rock of any kind. Almost.
Yeah.
The Foundations.
Forget genres. I mean, it's just the Foundation. That's a good way.
And then of course there was like the 90s R&B that I grew up with as a kid. Usher, Monica, Jay-Z. So you can talk about a lot of things with the soul tag.
That's interesting. So do you put rap in with Americana? We're doing that.
No, rap is not Americana. Rap would be with the soul tag. I think somebody started a soul tag. Americana, I have to look up Americana because I am kind of a little rusty
to see the actual written definition. Yeah,
because I'm looking at all these tags. There's a punk tag. There's a soul tag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what do we not have a tag for? I remember somebody made a spoof video of all the tags that the BC did, and I was making a funny video. I was like, "There's a tag on your tree. There's a tag on," because it was being funny.
Right.
Believe it or not, Nina Simone was soul as well.
I have a couple of Nina Simone.
I have an album of Nina Simone here.
I have Forbidden Fruit. I have Forbidden Fruit by her, and I have Nina Simone Sings the Blues because my dad was really big into Nina Simone. He saw her at the Troubadour,
Yeah.
When she came here to the Troubadour, he saw her before she became big. So she played at the Troubadour. But
another genre you can't exclude from Americana is country.
oh yeah, I'm
Right.
surprised no one has done a
Country to me
country
is just straight up Americana.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
right. If you have a dog and a truck and a case of beer, you're Americana country.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm definitely Americana.
Somebody needs to do a country tag now. If we're gonna do Americana, we need to talk about Waylon Jennings.
George Jones.
I've got Wage and
Hank
Willie.
George
Williams.
Jones,
Hank Williams.
Charlie Pride. Charlie Pride.
And I like both Hank Williams Sr. and Jr. I like them both.
Yeah,
my father was a huge Hank Williams Sr. fan.
Yeah,
I wound up with an old album cover of his. But
my grandma loved the old school stuff. George Jones, Conway Twitty.
Oh yeah,
Loretta Lynn,
Twitty, George Jones,
Loretta Lynn, Hank Williams,
Johnny Cash.
Johnny
Cash. We're sitting in one of these little restaurants having breakfast when I was a kid, and on the jukebox, they also had the little individual jukeboxes on the table. But the big one was playing, and Johnny Cash was singing "Ring of Fire." Now I don't care where you went, what radio you turned on, "Ring of Fire" was playing. It was like the biggest thing in the land.
Yeah.
And I looked at my dad, knowing that he just loved country music. All he had was country music albums.
Yeah.
And he liked Elvis too. He took us to see all Elvis's movies when we were little kids, me and my brother. But I asked him. I said, "Hey, Dad, you like Johnny Cash, right?" And he goes, "No." I go, "What? I thought you loved country. I would have expected you to like Johnny Cash." He goes, I said, "Why not?" And he goes, "He's a hophead."
What? Well, because Johnny Cash wrote
that's the first time I'd ever heard of hop.
Oh yeah, Merle Haggard is great.
Yeah.
But no, Johnny Cash, that live album he did in that state prison.
Folsom Prison. Yeah, Folsom Prison.
That's a great album. I mean, he's not for everybody.
Great album.
He's not for everybody.
When I was a teenager, Johnny Cash had a show that came on every week. And I'll never forget me and a friend of mine that had been sent up to Spring Mountain, the youth home, got in all kinds of trouble. When he came out, we went out to North Las Vegas to visit some of his friends that he met up there. And anyway, and that's the little it's almost one of those you don't go there if you don't know anybody type of areas of Las Vegas. And they were all watching the Johnny Cash show, all sitting around in wife beater t-shirts watching the Johnny Cash show. Yeah. And so Johnny Cash did this one song that he wrote where he named in that song every single American Indian tribe as he was singing, listed each and every tribe. And everybody just looked at one another, and Tommy looks at me, my buddy, and he goes, "Did you see what he just did?" I go, "Yeah." He just named every single American tribe in that song.
Yeah.
And that was mind-boggling. There may have been a couple missed. I wouldn't have known the difference, but anyway.
Like I saw the Johnny Cash documentary, which I actually saw when I was a kid. My parents had TV on, and we actually saw that documentary in live when he went to Folsom Prison, and he had apparently if I can remember correctly, he had a tin cup and he had a drink of water from it, and he put it on the stage on the floor on the stage, and he crushed it with his foot. he just stomped on it, and everybody was cheering, right? And but it was a good live concert, Folsom Prison. Yeah,
absolutely. I've seen that. This is James Watson here is talking about the same show, the same Johnny Cash show I was talking about. He'd have Bob Dylan on, Derek and the Dominoes. Right. I mean, he had it was everybody. A big show. Everybody watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we can't forget the classic of country. Glenn Campbell.
Oh, Glenn Campbell. Yeah. What an amazing artist. What an incredible guitar player. I mean, the guy was amazing.
Yeah, amazing. I have like a few of his compilations. Glenn Campbell is amazing. But I have to agree with you, James. Today's R&B is not really what I would consider R&B. I would consider more pop. Although we do have some R&B artists with the R&B genre, but today's R&B is way more pop than actual R&B. Kind of disappointing considering I grew up with good.
Right.
I mean, I think I might be kind of biased, but I think the best R&B was definitely the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. That's just my opinion. The 80s had decent R&B, and then the 90s is, I think, when R&B started to really pick up. and
Yeah,
became good again.
I agree.
And then the early 2000s. But today's R&B,
Yeah, James Watson. I agree with this too. Best country artist was Roy Clark on Hee Haw. Him and Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. I mean,
yeah,
Roy Clark was
Yeah.
amazing when he'd stand up there and do his solos. Oh my God, that was just off the chart.
Buck Owens is great. Who else am I thinking of? There's another guitar player that's escaping my mind right now. Chet Atkins. Oh yeah.
Oh
Chet.
yeah.
You
Chet
know,
Atkins,
the reason why I got into country is because my grandma was very big into it. So that was the extent of my country knowledge when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My grandma was so in love with Conway Twitty. I think she thought she was going to marry him. Yeah.
That's funny.
No. Yeah.
Conway. I remember Conway.
Yeah, she liked the Garth Brooks too. She loved the Garth Brooks.
Oh, Garth Brooks everybody loved Garth Brooks. He crossed over genres to,
Yeah, I love his song
away
to
from
Dance.
country.
I love Dance. That's such a pretty song.
Yeah. I've got some of his music. I've got a little collection of country. I've done a country show before. Got some Merle Haggard.
Yeah, Merle Haggard's great.
Yeah, Merle Haggard is great. Yeah,
he's great. There's just so much. I wonder if someone did create a country tag. Now I'm going to look that up because I'm kind of curious. We got a tag for every other genre.
Every other genre. Yeah.
Why not country? I'm not going to create it because I'm not knowledgeable enough. Because there was a guy who used to have a channel here named a fat bearded man talking about records, and he was.
I think I saw him.
He was really he knew a lot about country.
Okay.
But he sadly doesn't really post videos anymore.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this has been fun tonight, hanging out with everybody in the chat, and you, Lisa, you and Johnny that joined me. We're gonna be shutting down pretty quick. I've been trying to hold it to an hour, but we'll go a little longer because Johnny joined us kind of late. So yeah.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, look at that, Hank Williams.
Hank Williams.
Did that have jambalaya on it? And my cheating heart.
It has your cheating heart, lovesick blues, cool heart.
Hello, Joe. We gotta go. Mio Mayo.
Oh,
I absolutely love those songs. To be honest with you.
Nice.
Billy Campbell, the limited collection edition.
Yeah, that's totally cool. How many albums are in there?
Two. Hold on. Let me see.
It's a two album. Okay.
I think just two. Hold on. I'll tell you in a minute here. No, just one. It's a gatefold, but there's just one for some reason. Conway Twitty.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Conway.
There's this one. This one's a good one. It has the four guys. It has
Johnny Cash.
No, it has Conway Twitty.
That's
Merle
Conway
Haggard,
up there on the left. Okay.
Merle Haggard, Don Williams.
Yeah.
And John Connolly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the classics.
Now who were the Charlie Pride? Yeah, he was huge.
Sonny James.
Ooh, yes. My grandma would be like, you got all my favorites. My grandma would be happy right now if she was alive, but she would be happy. I mean, my grandma also liked the Oak Ridge Boys. I know.
I have one of those. Yeah.
Let me see if I could get this straight. Who were like the four horsemen? It was like Merle Haggard, Chris Christopherson. I thought Johnny Cash, and I might not even be right about that. But who was the other one?
Oh, geez, the Four Horsemen.
Oh, I think Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson. Yeah. He did a show out there.
And maybe Waylon Jennings. I'm not sure I've got this right. Waylon and Willie had some great stuff. I just bought Willie Nelson's greatest hits, and it's almost like a perfect album when you read it. It's a double album set. The only song I wished was on it that wasn't was Seven Spanish Angels with let's see, it was Willie Nelson and Ray Charles. I love that song. That's the only one I wish that was on it that wasn't, but every other great song they ever did is on that, I mean, Poncho and Lefty. I mean, everything. It's just a great album.
Yeah, he did a show out here at the Hollywood Bowl when he had his 98th birthday.
Yeah.
And it was so random.
And you know, I was only going to buy one album, and out of that whole rack, I bought the one I just mentioned, the Willie Nelson Greatest Hits double album.
Yeah.
I picked it over everything else. I mean, and there was like a little bit of everything in there too, but I just wanted that so bad.
Okay,
Willie
so
is a great artist.
Johnny Cash,
Yeah.
Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Chris Christopherson were the four horsemen.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Chris Christopherson still alive?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were rumors. You know, that rumor that goes on YouTube all the time saying that people are dying or dead.
Yeah.
There was a rumor that he died or something, but it wasn't true.
No, he's still alive. He's like 80, 87.
He's over. Yeah, he's old. So
yeah, I would definitely call Hank Williams Sr. the godfather of country.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, the other Williams do good music too, Junior. And then there's like
I love Hank Williams. I love Hank Williams Jr. too. I tell you what, and a lot of people probably disagree with me, but I listened to so much of that, Hank Williams Jr. and Sr. and the rest of them, that I was watching an award show, a country award show, and two very talented people, Brad Paisley and the blonde artist, that they did several award shows in a row.
Carrie Underwood,
yeah. They were singing Hank Williams songs, right? Kind of doing a medley of them, and all of a sudden, this big booming voice came out, and the curtain opened up, and out walked Hank Jr. singing the song they were both singing. I tell you what, as good as they were, they actually paled by comparison to Hank Jr.
He sounds like his dad for sure.
But such a powerful voice, though.
Don't forget, the George Jones and Tommy Wynette. George Jones was the top dog in country and western. You know?
I mean, if you think about it, for many years in the Country Music Award, Alabama would always win.
Oh yeah,
they
came here to the Paso Robles Fairgrounds, where we seen so many concerts, 6 years in a row.
Yeah, and also Brooks and Dunn.
Brooks and Dunn were great. Yeah.
Most of the country I know is 90s.
Brooks and Dunn do a great the Maria song. They really done a good job on that.
How about the Oak Ridge Boys, Elvira?
Yeah. I had that one.
I was not crazy about that song, but it was a big hit.
Yeah, boom, ba, boom, ba, ba, mow, mow.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, the stuff that I grew up with was Alan Jackson.
Oh, Alan Jackson.
Brad Paisley.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kenny Chesney.
Sure, Kenny Chesney.
Yeah, Dwight Yoakam, Clint Black.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff I grew up with, because that was very big.
Totally. Yeah, those were the ones we'd go see at the fairgrounds in the 80s, during the 80s and stuff,
Reba McEntire, of course.
Oh yeah, I saw Reba, I think, twice. Yeah.
I like Reba.
Yeah, she was always great. Always great.
A lot of great country and western singers, artists out there.
Now I'm curious.
Present, what's his name? Stapleton, Chris Stapleton.
I love
He's
him.
a great singer. Like Whiskey and all that. What a beautiful song.
Oh man.
Well, if there's anybody out there want to make a country tag, there is none in the VC. Somebody out there might want to do
I'm
one.
all done with tags. I've done too many.
I know. I've only done one tag, and that's DJ Trish's tag, which is
I was going to
Marty Stewart,
one, and Rachel caught me into it. She goes, "Johnny, you got to do one tag." All right, okay, I'll do one tag. I said, because I swore, I'm not going to do any. So I ended up doing one. Then all of a sudden, I ended up cutting Con into doing another one. So
that's why I just tell
it was interesting.
One.
Oh yeah,
it was interesting. It was interesting stuff I learned in doing these tags.
Yeah,
it was pretty interesting.
I gotta see what tags we have. We have a lot. Wow.
Yeah,
we do.
There was soul tag. There was obviously the Beatles tag. There was quite a few of them.
There's a metal tag. Yeah, metal is not my strong
metal,
suit.
which I don't really have metal. Or there was I think there was what do you call that? punk. There was a punk rock tag, I think, too.
I do know some punk rock, but again, I would kind of like no.
The only punk rock thing that I own in my life is the DVD on the Sex Pistols that Rachel gave me. The documentary or something like it was on it about the two characters there in the Sex Pistols, like the Sid Vicious, I think, and what's that one? It was a DVD, like it was like a documentary kind of movies kind of thing, and that's the only thing I have as far as punk rock. I wasn't really.
Well, I was never into punk rock. I mean, the Sex Pistols actually started
Sex Pistols, yeah.
I started to like them a little bit.
Yeah.
I tried several times to listen to the Ramones.
Yeah.
And I could barely get through an entire song. They just didn't appeal to me. I mean, maybe if I tried again, I'd like them. But
I mean,
the Sex Pistols were pretty good. I mean,
they were popular.
They were popular. Absolutely. They were big. Yeah.
That'd be a good idea if someone wanted to do an artist tag on someone else, like maybe Bob Dylan. Like someone could do a retrospect on Bob Dylan.
Oh, yeah.
Or Led Zeppelin. They could do a tag for Led Zeppelin. People could show Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd. The common artist.
Yeah.
They could do that because
Led Zeppelin would be a good one. I've got a fair amount of Led Zeppelin.
I think you could do the tag because you know
all the studio albums.
Yeah.
Led Zeppelin would be would be an interesting one to do, I think.
Michael Nolan's covered Led Zeppelin extensively on his
I
channel.
think Michael Nolan should do the tag because he knows a lot.
Oh, he knows a lot. Yeah. I lived Led Zeppelin 1 and 2. I just became a junior in high school. They both came out in '69.
Yeah.
And then Led Zeppelin 3 came out, the next year. And I think the following year, Led Zeppelin 4 came out. But anyway, me and my friends all became massive Led Zeppelin fanatics with 1 and 2. 3 lagged a little bit. It wasn't real popular initially. It's popular now, but it wasn't initially because it was being compared to 1 and 2.
1 and 2 was great.
Yeah, exactly.
The odd thing is about Led Zeppelin, and I listen to them all the time, and I really like a lot of their songs. The only thing is I only have 145 of Led Zeppelin. That's the Immigrant song. I think it's on Polydor. I think I'm not sure what label it is, but. The Immigrant song on the 45. Yeah, that's the only thing I have about with Led Zeppelin.
I only own 2 45s. One is a purple vinyl of Jimi Hendrix, Purple Haze. That's a 45. Wow. And the other one is the Beatles Now and Then. It's in blue vinyl and a 45. I also have the red and the 12-inch,
I mean, you can't go wrong with Led Zeppelin. I think if you get to like the numbered albums, those are great. And Physical Graffiti. And Houses of the Holy.
House of the Holy is great.
And you get those albums. I think you're good when it comes to Led Zeppelin. But some of their later stuff is okay. I'm trying to steer people away from
What would you consider Led Zeppelin as being? Rock or kind of R&B?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Somebody just mentioned that. Well, that's blues based for sure.
Are blues.
Yeah, definitely.
Led Zeppelin 1 is really kind of a lot of blues covers.
Yeah,
I would say they're hard rock blues.
Yeah, hard rock. They would qualify as heavy metal, as would Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
They would both qualify. So heavy metals it's not all just let me see who was like there's several heavy metal bands that I've never had an album of.
Metallica.
No, I have several of theirs.
I think you.
I have the black. I have 2 copies of the Black album in a double album set.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't have any.
One of them's colored and one of them's just straight black.
Black Sabbath.
I love Metallica, but Black I mean, like Iron Maiden. I've never owned an Iron Maiden album.
No. How about some Judas Priest?
I've never owned a Judas Priest album. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I just had other things I was listening to.
I know. Yeah, I hear you because there's some records and songs that I like from artists, and it's like I've never considered ever even buying one, but I like them.
It's funny. It's funny what Dan Goucher said. I can get through a Ramones song in 2 minutes. Yeah, they're only 2 minutes long. That's true.
I mean, you can get through a lot of punk songs in 2 minutes, like Ramones.
Right.
The Dead Kennedys. Rancid, you can get through a lot of them in 2 minutes because punk songs were meant to be short, and a lot of them were meant to make like a political statement or just a statement about something. That's the thing about punk. Punk was making a statement.
Making a statement, and there was a whole bunch of really bad genres out at the time, you know, alternate type stuff that was I couldn't stand any of it. I just sought refuge into all my older stuff, you know, the Led Zeppelin and what have you.
Yeah.
Hoping for that to pass.
Yeah, the heavy metal, you know, it's hard. I can't really get into that kind of stuff. Like you know how some of them are really so heavy, like they're like they sound like the devil when they're singing.
I mean, you should.
No, that's exactly right. And I can't listen to that either. I can't listen to that either.
I mean,
I feel like I'm in the on the set of the Exorcist when I hear that kind of songs.
You think the music you had growing up was bad? When I was growing up, we had new metal. And that was worse. We had new metal when I was in high school. That's like 90s, 2000s.
Well, that's, yeah.
Well, Adam has never owned a Beatles album. Don't shoot me.
You know what, Adam? There's a lot of people out there that don't own Beatles albums. So
and a lot of it has to do with age. You know, like I was in the 6th grade when the Beatles came to America, and followed by that wave called the British Invasion, and they were the biggest thing in the world. I mean, there was no avoiding that. We had Beatles albums in the house when I was 6th grade and stuff. You know,
I mean, everybody has a different period of when they got to the Beatles. Everybody has a different period.
You can't forget too. During the Beatles era, the Dave Clark 5 were pretty big.
Huge. They had the biggest fan club of all the bands.
Jerry and the Pacemakers were pretty big.
Jerry and the Pacemakers were
a lot of them came.
Herman's Hermits.
Yep.
Herman's Hermits. I mean, one of my favorites of all time, Eric Burdon and the Animals.
Eric Burdon and the Animals.
Huge. The Rolling Stones. They all kind of came as a package together.
Like it was like an atomic bomb from Britain just came into North America.
That's a good way of putting it, Johnny. That's exactly right.
I mean, the Beatles. I think the Beatles made it, accessible for other UK artists to become bigger in the US.
I think the Beatles made it when they went on to the Ed Sullivan Show. That's when they really made it in America.
Yeah.
Because once you got on the Ed Sullivan Show, if you were an artist, you had it made afterwards. If Ed Sullivan liked you, you had it made. Your career would go.
And that's exactly right. Yeah. You know, when it came to the Beatles, their early live performances playing in these big stadiums, they couldn't hear themselves.
No.
They didn't have the equipment back in those days, and all those young girls in the front row screaming.
Yeah.
Ringo said the only way he could try to even keep beat was watching their butts move back and forth, and how they if they're playing the guitars. I mean, he couldn't hear anything, and they couldn't hear it either.
Exactly.
The only group that wasn't invited on the Ed Sullivan Show was the Doors, because Ed Sullivan wanted the Jim Morrison to change some of the lyrics.
I know, but
he didn't.
But he came on and didn't change them.
That's right. He didn't change it. Right. So Ed Sullivan was so pissed off at that he never invited them again.
No, he wore his welcome out quick.
Oh yeah. I think it was "Come On Baby, Light My Fire," and he was supposed to change it to "Come On Baby, Come On Baby, you can't get much higher," or something like that. But he had to change
something about getting we couldn't get much higher.
Higher.
Stuff like that.
So he had to change it, right? So
I imagine he would have been pissed at Backdoor Man too, but whatever.
Oh, Ed Sullivan would have had a bloody stroke if he would have heard that song.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Those were the days, great days for music back then. I think in the 60s.
Absolutely, man.
I wish I was born in the 60s, man.
Oh man,
good music.
You don't know how many people I've ran into that have said that. Of course, now getting older, I wished I was born in the 90s.
No,
but you know what? There was nothing like the 60s. I mean, honest to God. I mean, it was it changed our entire society.
Yeah,
big time.
No, I mean, I do wish I was born in the 60s, because I was born in 82. So it's like, it would have been cool. It would have been cool but yeah.
It was something else. I mean, I mean, to live in the era of Woodstock and all those concerts up at the Golden Gate Park with, you know, Janis Joplin and the Grateful Dead and Big Brother and the Holding Company and all live shows, you know.
You want to see a good one?
Santana was there.
Gimme Shelter. There was a good documentary, Gimme Shelter, with the Rolling Stones. That's a good documentary right there. If you want to see that one with the Hells Angels being the
oh yeah, I saw that. I saw that one.
Yeah,
I saw that one. That was a great one. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was the one.
I've seen that. Maybe not that same documentary, but I've seen that whole thing with the Stones and the Hells Angels being their bodyguards, and
you could see Mick and the band going like they looked like they were petrified, really, because the Hells Angels were there, right?
It just got out of control.
I bet you they had a lot of remorse for hiring the Hells Angels for doing that.
I mean,
I'm sure they absolutely did. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I mean, didn't somebody get killed at that concert?
Yeah, somebody got killed. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been going down the rabbit hole of documentaries.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of documentaries, like that one with Abbey Road. That was good. I watched I watched so many documentaries that I've lost track.
Get Back.
I saw Get Back. I saw the Paul McCartney, Rick Rubin one. I saw one that was really good about, believe it or not, it was about that Ronnie Bingheimer guy. That was a pretty interesting one I saw. That was a good one. There's so many I've seen.
Get Back was a good one because you can watch when you watch it and you see Billy Preston coming in with a big grin on his face, like going like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm with the Beatles, you know? And he's got this smile on his face. Absolutely priceless, right? Absolutely priceless. You know, so happy to be with the Beatles, you know? It's like, I'm not worthy type thing. But Billy Preston is a great artist.
He's a fantastic keyboard player.
He just got on that keyboard and with a couple seconds.
I was a Billy Preston fan, not even knowing about him playing with the Beatles.
I think they called him the fifth Beatle, I think, or something like that.
I mean, they called him. Then they also called Brian Epstein the fifth Beatle, and
there were different people were the fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, I've got to get going here. It's after 8 o'clock, and I want to thank you all for joining me. Lisa, Johnny L, everybody in the chat, Michael Nolan, and Music Sanctuary, Dan Goucher, Adam, James Watson. I won't be able to get all the names out, but I want to just thank you all for joining me. I really
Can I leave you with a few words?
Absolutely.
Keep the platter spinning. See you on the flip side, and long live doo-wop.
Okay, right on. And that's what's going on in Royce's world today. Thank you all so much for joining.
Thanks, Royce.
Okay, good night, guys.